And we are live. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let me plug everything back in. Hold on. Make sure that we are Pro Tools capable and do this properly. Okay. You guys have 2 minutes to get in. Official test start time. We were talking about mentoring. So this is part of our mentorship series, but we're going to be doing an example on um, automotive design. Hold on. We're going to do aerodynamics, but we're going to use three different examples. We're going to use the XA220, the Ford GT, and the McLaren Speedtail. And I'm going to see by generation what the differences are. So open up your modules, open up your Wikipedia. So let's go on your browser while everybody else gets in. Everybody has the link. There's no excuses. Let's go. Let's start XJ220 wiki. Then we're going to load, let's go 4GT. We just sold a few of them as well. 4GT wiki. For search engine optimization, you will be able to see my competitors right here. Okay, 4GT, and we set also McLaren Speedtail. Mm. Now we know that they share the same architecture. The frame is, similar. Everything is similar, but we're going to use this as an example. Now let's look at the manufacturing dates. 4GT is 2018. The previous predecessor is 1968. McLaren Speedtail is 2020. So Speedtail goes last. So automatically we have a clue here. Could it be that the Speedtail is a combination of both the Jaguar XA220 and the 4GT? Chronologically, it would make sense. So there's a lot of similarities in the design, which we're going to explore. What are some of the key differences? As a matter of fact, there's a correction here. This says production was 2016. So let's go 4GT. Or is this the same one? No, no, no. Hold on. 4GT 2016 production. Speedtail is 2020. Okay, so Speedtail still in the same category. So we'll put that on the simulator. Um, Let me see what we can introduce. Okay, perfect. Go on YouTube, go Bloomberg, and press enter. It's going to lead you to the channel. Go to videos, and you're going to see the China show just came out. So add that to your queue. And now we can connect Pro Tools for production. Hold on. And make sure everything is powered up. 1 second. Wait, wait. There we go. Now we can test. Oh, okay, okay. I have the settings here. I have to put them like that because if not, it will interrupt my class, which is no good. Okay. So,
Half an hour away from the Opens in Hong Kong, Shenzhen, and Shanghai. You're watching the China Show. I'm Yvonne Mann with Annabelle Jewelers. Our top stories:
you guys can
investors
hear
are very
me.
much digesting these fresh trade threats from President Trump, who's now flagging a 200% levy on pharmaceuticals and 50% on copper.
Now, when they
He's
get into
also
the
doubling
political
down on
bullshit,
August's
I don't
first
fuck with
deadline for
that. But
country-specific tariffs. China's June CPI out
we'll
this
leave
hour is
this.
expected to show prices stuck in deflation as the consumption recovery fails to fire factory gate prices heading for a 30th
Okay.
straight month of
That way
decline.
we can because also for sound, the sound has to be dynamic. Oh, it's my shorty right here. This is my shorty right here. I don't even know that's my shorty. All right. So let's go XJ220. Speedtail is hybrid. 4GT, I don't think 4GT is hybrid. I think that would be the difference. So let's look into that. Let's put all three cars on the rig. Get everything on the lift. Um, we're gonna have to go. I guess put them on the simulator. Line them up by engines so that we have everything. Because for the 4GT, we got to go second generation. So second gen is 2017 production, 1 year prior. So McLaren Speedtail is 2019. Oh, but wait, let me mount it by the powertrain. Let me see. December 16th. Okay, perfect. Powertrain. So now same thing with Speedtail. Let's go by powertrain because now at this phase of development, now the vehicles are competing head to head. That way we can measure it, see what the differences are, right? Okay, so the electric motor, which is the difference, right? It's 306 horsepower, 228 kilowatts, so 310 PS give and take. Um, Combined power output 1036 horsepower. So this car is just as powerful as the new Corvette, but this came out 5 years ago. So the Corvette is as fast as a car that's 5 years old by comparison, or is as powerful, including Revolto, which is a new release with over 1,000 horsepower. The fucking Tesla Model S did that shit eons ago. Um, I'm trying to think. So 4 liter V8 twin turbo. Now, oh, you know what could disqualify this car from being on the simulator? The speed tells 8 cylinders, but it's 3.5, so it's only 0.5 difference. It's hard. Let's see if we can meet regulations. Let's go 3.5 liter twin turbocharged Ford EcoBoost V6. Maybe on design we'll be able to learn something. 700 brake horsepower for version 2. Um, Wait a minute. Oh, I was about to say for the X220, the concept car had a 6.2 liter. The production car was 3.5. I was about to say 6.2 liters. What the heck is that? All right. So 4GT 3.5. Let's see the difference in horsepower. 500. It's about right. 542, which is 550. I say between five. I say 550, 555 around there. So 4GT is automatically 100 extra brake horsepower. McLaren Speedtail is, let me see, McLaren Speedtail is what? Oh, 1,000 combined. So the engine by itself is about 700 something horsepower. So this should be like the 720S motor. It's the M4, no, M840 Turbo. Let's see what other models it's included in, and we could do the module this way. So 90-degree flat plane crank V8, 3.994 cc's, cylinder bore 93, piston stroke 73.5. So top heavy piston, 32 valves, dual overhead cam, RPM range, max engine speed 8,500 before it cuts it off. Turbocharger, MHI twin turbo that produced 1.3 bar or 18.85 psi on turbo boosting pressure with intercooler. So it could run 18 pounds factory, right? With the warranty and everything. They know it's not going to break. Power output 612 to 814 brake horsepower. So definitely has to be one of these versions. And it says it right here. Let me see if it says Speedtail. Yes, it does. It says it right here. Look, we got the grid right here. Model 720S, 17 to 23. 720S GT3, which is our competition, 2018 to 2022. This is the engine we need to learn from. This engine is making a difference. I can't fully understand why, but it is. So 710 brake horsepower, which is about 720 something, 724 around there. 755 for the 765 LT, same motor. Is it a stroker motor? It doesn't say that. Senna is doing 789. Lower RPM. These pistons must be bigger because this is, let's say 800 at 7,250 RPM. Senna GTR 814, that's more right. Senna Le Mans 833, it's 800 horsepower all day. Elva is 804. Speedtail 746 on Speedtail, same motor, same motor. So for, let me see, for a parts car that would be good. Let's go back to the actual lift. Take everything off the lift. Hold on. Powertrain. Okay. Dimensions. Wheelbase. XA220 has a wheelbase of 103.9 inches. Now we're going to line everything up in the simulator by dimensions so that we can build the system around it. So XA220 is on lane 1, 4GT lane 2, and we are at 106.7. 103.9, so 106 places it second in the podium. McLaren Speedtail 105, 107.5. So, oh, just barely made it. So McLaren third on the podium. So in the third lane, put the McLaren Speedtail. Okay, overall length 194.1 inches for the XA220. 4GT length 187.5. Makes it smaller than XA220. Okay, now McLaren Speedtail length 202.2. So McLaren still in his class, still in the third lane on the simulator. Okay, with Jaguar XA220 79.1 versus 78.9. So again, 4GT needs to be in the inner lane, first lane, first at the podium, based on the width again. Height 45.3 inches for XA220 versus 43.7. Again, 4GT, first in the podium, first lane in the simulator. Okay, height 45.3 for XA220. Speedtail, height 44.1. So 45.3, that means Speedtail is now second lane in the podium in the simulator. Jaguar XA220. Now let's go by weight. Curb weight 3,240.8 pounds. McLaren 3,153. Okay, McLaren still in second place. Ford, curb weight, we gotta probably go. Damn, we gotta go GT2 because I used the horsepower rating from the race car. So it's 3,354 on the regular GT. The race car is 3,154. Speedtail is 3521 and 3153. 3153. Yo, the Speedtail takes it. 100% a clone. That's it.
In what way? And how do you think that they need to account for this
100%.
fact?
3,153 pounds versus 3,354 pounds and 3,240. 3,100. No, I'm using race car specs. No, let me see. 3240. 31. Nope. Still wins. 3153. 3154. Yo, it was a close race. Speedtail first place. 4GT second place. Jaguar XJ220 third place. Now, for your exams, can you guess at what speed each car passed the final lap? So that'll be extra credit. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes and I'll give you my answer.
Do you think that it has the intended effect? And I'm thinking more about the coercive
Same track, same conditions, difference in horsepower versus XA220, nearly double the power, versus 4GT, an improvement of 30 something percent. Let's go back to powertrain, 30% increase in power. So 4GT as an example. Oh man, here we go. Back on. Probably reset the thing. All right, no problem. Um, trying to think. Yep. All right. So difference in speed. We know that the fastest car is really the XA220. So I'm gonna take maybe a few seconds from the 4GT and then add them to the McLaren detail. Then I'm gonna do the difference. So for every turn that this car can make straight away, what we're talking two and change, 215. That turn you could do probably 190, 195. This car could probably do a 198. This car could do probably 201, 202. So the difference is what? 10 miles an hour. That's it. And it's a variable of 3.3. 3.33 to be exact. Game over. So it makes sense it will be in third place. So a 2 second difference would be 4GT, McLaren Speedtail. So it's a 4 second difference, really 3.59. I want to say from the top of the Nürburgring to the podium, we're talking in time or we're talking in seconds? I'm trying to think. It's probably going to be like a 104 versus a 101.3 or 101.7. So that means this car did it in 58.9 seconds, give and take, with a 0.33% variable in any direction. Right? That's dope engineering right there. So let's learn a little bit more about what do you guys want to do? We do 4GT, second gen, or do we do Speedtail? Because the Jaguar program XA220 is too exclusive. Um, okay, perfect. Let's give you guys some background. So let's go with development first. The development of the second generation GT at Ford was a very secretive operation, according to design director Chris Sebson. A handful of 12 people, including some key engineers, had access to the design studio. This secrecy was maintained inside Ford and to the press until its 2015 unveiling at the North American Auto Show. The design of the new GT began with its aerodynamics package, which was closely related to the ultimate focus of the design team of creating a successful Le Mans race car. low coefficient of drag, and aerodynamic efficiency were of primary importance in the development of the exterior of the car, and this drove designers to pursue a teardrop profile as often seen in LMP1 cars. The powertrain of the new GT therefore became a secondary criterion to the external design and aerodynamic performance of the car. Although a V8 and even a V12 engine were both considered, it was ultimately decided to use Ford's EcoBoost V6 engine due to the degree of freedom that the compact engine gave designers. The intent behind the design was for the overall look of the second generation GT to be recognizable as a part of the GT line, which meant, for example, a cutback from nose piece, circular taillights, and raised twin exhaust pipes. There was no explicit requirement for luxury or practicality in the design of the road car, which is the reason behind the car's negligible cargo space and Spartan interior. The interior seating position was fixed to provide additional space for the bodywork and teardrop exterior shape. Very nice. Now, let's go into the technology of the Speedtail. We're in good time. The Speedtail recharges its hybrid battery while driving through a wireless charging pad and is included with the car. Trickle charging it when not in use. McLaren says that one of the main goals of the Speedtail was to minimize drag. To achieve this, the design is inspired by the shape of a teardrop and features carbon fiber static covers on the front wheels. It also features hydraulically actuated active rear aerodynamic control surfaces, which are formed in flexible carbon fiber and are an integral part of the rear clamshell. McLaren says this was chosen over a traditional rear spoiler in order to reduce drag. The Speedtail is fitted with electrochromic glass, which darkens at the push of a button, eliminating the need for sun visors. Similarly, the Speedtail does not feature door mirrors, instead using HD cameras mounted on the front guards that pop out when the ignition is turned on and retract inside when the velocity mode is activated, which reduces overall drag and optimizes performance. Not too bad. So let's take a look at the dealership real quick. Let me see. I'm sure I have a few McLarens, but I'm not selling Speedtails today. As a matter of fact, the dealership is closed. We're not gonna go because I got rid of some nice Porsches, some nice Corvettes for the day. Um, I wanted to show you guys some of the items for the clothing line, and I wanted to talk about some of the tour dates for the tour. We have Canada and Australia coming up. So shout out to you, Canada. Shout out to Sydney, Australia. I am on my way. We have 172 shows, so it's gonna be crazy, Tony. But I want to give everybody a shout out. Give me one quick second. Let me pull up the list so that I can give everybody their props, you know. Let me check in with my management team and see if I have all of the tour information up to date. Give this a quick second. So we'll do the the NFTs first. We'll do the clothing, and then we'll move on. So correction, we had two parties that were canceled, so we only have 170 shows for this tour. So it's all good, no worries. I'm gonna check right now to see where they are. Give me 1 second. So while that loads, we can start with um maybe we can put it up in this rig, but the problem is gonna be display, but it's okay. Have to put like I had to put like basketball shoes so you guys could see them. Exactly. That way you guys could see them better. Let me see. Mm. Oh, but you know what? I'm not gonna be able to find them like this. Nope. Let's go. Give me 1 quick second. Everything is technology, so we got to do the shout outs. We have to keep our business partners happy. Um. Oh, okay. I think I have some of these. Oh, but it's not letting me do it. No, it's just telling me. Okay, I see. I see. Never mind. Let me just look for. I think it's one of the smallest venues. This one is gonna be full VIP status, but I have to look because some of these are different. So this is the hard work part that a lot of people don't get to see. Let me see. I think we may have some tickets left. I'm gonna do my best because we had some tickets that were gonna go for like the press, but I want to give them to the fans. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do with those tickets. So that one is the pre-show. No, that one's the after party. Hold up, that's the wrong one. Some people like to go to the after parties. They prefer those better. But it takes forever.
since data compiled, I don't know when. So there you go. That's where the divergence is. That spread, they're certainly widening between the U.S. and LME as well. So that's where the point of contention here is this morning. Also, we're tracking this global bond sell-off that seems to be resuming in Japan and the U.S. Treasuries fell for a fifth straight day as well. We haven't talked about the RBA and what they did and really wrong-footing traders there yesterday with that surprise hold on rates. So yields are overall in the region heading higher.
Okay, we may
this
have to
morning.
do this
We do have that
differently.
JGB option
Okay.
coming up later on today. But
So I'll
38
tell you
days,
what.
not doing a whole lot in China. That's pretty stable here right now.
For the
But you
business
see this thing
partnerships
with the
there, we
CATL
have
ratios, for example. We just had
the
those
shout outs are on the way.
supply
They're
sales numbers that
coming.
came out of
We're
China.
working on them right now.
About here today. But here's how Hong Kong is looking
We're
at
gonna start,
a nice stable
everything organic.
first sort of day we're seeing when it comes
Let
to
me see if I
listings.
can move
Hong Kong
this
is actually doing this. So a bit of a different
and
picture here.
adjust it.
Down about 0.6%. HS Tech is on offer here today. And you're still seeing quite a bit of sell-off here when it comes to Alibaba, Meituan.
Okay, much
It
better.
really goes to show
All right.
where this whole competition around food
So
delivery is really
I
kind of
think
weighing
that
on
we
these
can
stocks. I
show
believe
you
they're one of the worst
guys
performers
some of the
in the Hang Seng
items,
Tech
right?
gauge of late. Wendy Liu from JP Morgan has a great
I
sort of
bring
note
value
talking
to all
about
of my
the
investments, right?
anti-involution.
I'm the celebrity, I'm the superstar, I'm the artist, right? Cool.
Maybe that could actually be equity positive. We'll get our take in the next hour as well. But we're watching very closely
I
just
want
this
to
morning
give you
the
guys like an example of something like
Hang Seng Prop
that's
Index.
very dear to
Looks
me.
like
You
the
know what I
US
mean?
trend might be the one that's dragging that, given they are doing a convertible bond sale here today as well.
Um,
Side. And do we have those numbers
this
here?
is an example. Let's see this right
I think
here.
it's really interesting you make that point around involution and that there's a
Okay,
lot of
cool. They do
corrections
come in
and
different
probably
colors. So,
corrections and have an impact there, but you're really seeing it. And if there's one key message that you can take from the inflation picture this month, it's that there really is no line or end in sight yet for the deflationary pressure. So PPI, we've seen that going further into the future.
okay, you got to
Employment yield
pick from one of
came in
these.
worse than economists had been expecting. Contraction of 3.6%. The survey had been for 3.2 or negative 3.2, and a deterioration from the month prior where it was negative 3.3. So that is the 33rd straight month here of factory gate
Oh, I
prices
see. I can move
declining.
this with
On the
this right
CPI
here.
side,
Okay.
this is actually coming a bit better than expected. So the survey had been for, again,
I
contractionary territory for a fifth straight month.
I get to see some of the prototypes. Now remember, all of these have an NFT, okay? Let me adjust this.
Of 0.1% instead. So you're reversing that earlier trend again when we had seen
Let's
quite a
see if it can
significant
show right
contraction
there. Hold on.
here as we say
Now we'll get to adjust it in real time.
the deflationary pressures in China.
That way I can see it in real life.
Right, 33 straight months certainly is a trend. What's going on the CPI side? Let's bring in Erica Tang, who's
Okay.
at
Take a look right
Speedtail
there.
here
Oh man,
with
hold
us
up.
now. Erica,
Hold up.
just thinking off with the CPI numbers that we are bucking 4 months of deflation. Why do you think we're seeing a bit of a surprise here? Well, I think the short answer is
Beat the
no.
joint.
We're looking at
And that's before I even customize them. You know what I'm
inflation
saying? To take a look right there.
upturn came
That's
through
before I
faster
customize
than
them
expected. And we
with a
actually
few
saw that
things.
in June as
This is more like
July spiked up a
it's
little
like a
more.
sports shoe. Like
And I believe
you could
that
still
was
wear them and you could still be active, but they're, it's a dress,
probably
like
the
it's a dress shoe. It's a high end
a
shoe.
lot
You know what I
more
mean?
crude oil prices have
We
come
have a
down
completely different
recently. So I think
belief
overall
system when it
we're
comes to
seeing a
engineering.
decline in
So
yields.
even
Might not
the
be
basketball shoes
changing
reflect that.
rates. So we're still looking at
Um,
CPI inflation for the full year at around
let me see if I could give
4%.
you another
And
example.
then in terms of producer prices, I think you can still see the wreckage
Let me
uh,
see.
filtering through from the weak property market. So construction starts are actually on track to fall by 3/4 compared to the peak in 2019. So that is overall depressing demand for the heavier industrial materials. And we can see that is why PPI prices have been falling sharper than expected. So on the CPI side, and just sort of to wrap that up or continue that conversation, what measures do you expect to be then announced? Because we've seen, for instance, that early success with the trade in subsidies. Do you see this being expanded at all? So I think the
And let's
thing, the
let you have
magic
a close look here, right?
quite immediate. So, if you tell people you get 50
Take a look right there.
they will immediately rush up to buy, which is why you saw mobile sales up
So you see the top of the construction there.
the last month, and then
This is like a composite right here.
2%
You know what I mean? How many artists you know got their own sneaker, yo?
is
I got my own
still
sneakers,
that
baby.
people are not going to keep
Oh, that I mean,
mobile phones and gadgets and
see if they
appliances
can see this a little
very
bit.
long thereafter. So I think even if the subsidies were to
And they
be
look nice.
extended
They're designed for my feet.
to
So,
even
you know, as tall as I
February,
am, you'll be able to appreciate, you know, the engineering that went into them, you know. Let's see, we can pick a different pair right here. Just so you can see what they would look like, how they would fit, you know. And now the NFTs are inside. So we have different technologies to bring you the NFTs, but that's what makes them special. So you know what I mean? It's just to give you an example. I kind of wanted to share some of these things. You know, sometimes we speak about them, but we're teaching, so it's a little bit different. You know.
which is tied to corporate
Um,
profits.
Let
So
me
I
just
think
show you the white ones before.
manufacturing
These
firms
are the low
are
tops right here.
40% of
These are for
industrial
the
goods
shorties. You know, your girl's gonna want a
as
pair
of
of these.
May. So this
You know what I
is
mean?
compared to about
They look cute. You know what I mean? But for us, we trying to play ball. So
end of May. So
everybody's like, "Yo, I used to be nice back in the days." I'm like, "All right, let's play a game." Nah, nah, I don't want to play. All right. So let's keep going.
curb
Let's
hiring
get out of
because
here.
that is not a good look for the employment front.
What about the deflationary pressures more on
Get
the
back to the
factory
market,
side?
see what's
Because
going
there's
on.
some
Because, you know,
warnings,
my
for
business
instance, we
partner's
could see
overseas.
these price wars continuing for
Price
years.
wars continue.
Is there going to be anything to sort of arrest the decline, do you think?
So I think a couple of things. One, we are not seeing any improvement on the property front, which has been a key source of demand for the upstream materials. But what about the consumer product front? I think involution or intense price competition has to stop. So I think that the government has come in to say that to encourage large firms such as the EV manufacturers to hold back from such sharp price cuts. So I think action or responses by these industry giants might help. But also, I
All
think
right.
companies
That's all
are
the time that we
trying
have.
to export what they
We'll
can't
be
sell
right
onshore.
back
So that is
with
also
the best
leading
teacher of
to
the whole world,
a
man.
rush or a
Holla at your boy.
deluge of consumer goods
You
exports
guys did a
to
good
the
job.
rest of the
Everybody
world from
passed.
China at falling prices.